So before we start, I just want you to give a short overview on our topic. In this discussion, we are going to tackle about how mediated communication works in both good and bad ways. And we are also going to analyze some examples of how people convey relational information by emoticons, pictograph, and some abbreviation. And now let's proceed to our main topic. What is computer-mediated communication? So when we say computer-mediated communication, or CMC, is a term used to cover a broad or wide category of function that encompasses various forms of communication through network communication, such as video conferencing, phone calls, email, message, distance learning, and etc. In addition to this, CMC is the exchange of message carried through an intervening system of digital electronic staged and transmitted between two or more people. Based from the book, CMC involves communicating online using the internet and the web. As you probably know, the internet is a system network that connects millions of computers around the world, and the World Wide Web, or WWW, is one of a few services that moves the internet. Other services deployed over the internet includes email, instant messaging, and newsroom. Each service uses a particular documents format, which for the WWW is Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML. The invention of wireless technology has a tremendous impact on our lives. It allows us to be connected to the internet practically wherever we go. Portable devices like phones and laptops now use wireless technology and do not need to be physically connected to a computer or other device. Most CMC on the internet is text-based, although possibilities for incorporating audio and visual exist, reflecting a general trend in technology towards the integration of communication modes. For example, telephone can be integrated with video technology, so you can use your cell phone as video recorder. The fact that CMC is a relatively recent form of communication and rapidly changing makes it difficult to arrive at a definitive conclusion about its exact role in everyday life. Researching these aspects of communication can be like trying to hit a moving target. However, with basic understanding of what CMC is and the significant ways it differs from face-to-face communication, we can begin to assess its increasingly important role. So let's talk about filtering of communication. Filtering refers to a sender manipulating information so it will be seen more favorably by the receiver. Non-verbal cues are extremely important. It's understanding the totality of another person's communication. In the internet is cause filtered out form of communication. In comparison, the telephone filters out some cause but does allow others, like the speed, tone, and quality of words. There are two deficit theories that may help us understand the impact of filtering on CMC. The first one is the social presence theory. According to Short, Williams, and Christie, social presence refers to the feelings of physiological closeness or immediacy that people experience when interacting with each other. This closeness or intimacy generally is communicated through non-verbal cues like smiling, leaning forward, and having a relaxed body posture. Social presence theory suggests that face-to-face communication is generally high in social presence and media vary in the amount of social presence they convey. An example would be a telephone communication conveys less social presence than face-to-face interaction but more than email communication where all non-verbal cues are filtered out. This implication is that media low is social presence is more impersonal, less sensitive, and less relationship-focused. And the second theory is the media richness theory. According to Andaf and Langen, media richness theory uses CMC similarly. Media richness describes the potential information carrying capacity communication media. And according to this theory, face-to-face communication is the richest medium for communication because you can see facial expressions and body gestures, as well as hear the tone, speed, and quality of the voice. All these factors relay a tremendous amount of information and allow you to interpret message more accurately. You not only hear the words or the content of the message, but you also receive the relational message that are being sent non-verbally and reveal how the person feels about you. An example, if the other person is smiling, leaning towards you, or maintaining eye contact, you probably infer that the person is happy and glad to talk with you. And if the person is scowling and avoiding eye contact, you might infer that she is angry or unhappy with you. Another relatively rich medium is a video-audio communication, which some people conduct through personal webcams on their home computers. In using a webcam, you might miss some immediate context clues such as body posture or gesture, but you would have the benefits of seeing nonverbal behaviors.
So as said, we'll tackle about how people convey relational information by emoticons. So here are some examples of emoticons and its meaning. So in addition to this, there are actually two forms of computer-mediated communication and its pros and cons that will be further discussed later on. The first one is the synchronous communication. Synchronous communication happens in real time, meaning both parties are engaged in a communication together. An example will be a phone call, video call, or a Zoom meeting. In here, we can get immediate feedback that can lead to less roadblocks or delays. But the cons are, it is strictly technology-based and demands a high-speed internet connection, and also the time zone differences. And the second form is the asynchronous communication. Asynchronous communication does not happen in real time, meaning that the sender might not receive a response immediately from the receiver after sending the message. An example will be a text message or a chat. In here, it is less accommodating for communication across different time zones and schedules, can communicate at one's own pace, and does not require everyone to be at peak productivity at the same time. But the cons here are lack of spontaneity, immediacy, and connection. And lastly, we'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of computer-mediated communication. So here are the advantages of CMC. CMC disregards time and place dependence. Compared to face-to-face communication, CMC is not restricted in terms of time and place. It ensures superiority in reach. Compared to face-to-face communication, CMC enables users to reach out to a vast number of receivers simultaneously. It also facilitates the archive of information. Previous conversations can be kept for future reference. And here's the disadvantages of computer-mediated communication. CMC limits the richness of communication. Communication is not all about text and words. CMC is long noted to be lacking in terms of socio-emotional and non-verbal cues. Misunderstandings might also happen due to wrong interpretations of the tone and meaning of words. And also, there's an issue of confidentiality and trust. When we communicate via CMC, we are really putting ourselves out there. Phone and video calls can be taped, messages can be screenshot or copy-pasted. And there's also limitations in technology such as computers might get spoiled, internet servers might be down, smartphones might be out of battery, the possibility